Hello everyone and welcome back to Ladida Plays. Today, Rimworld. Rimworld is a game I played a whole lot of when it first came out. And then I've kind of been playing it on and off over the past couple of months. Let me see quickly here. Steam. I've got almost 300 hours into this game. Now bear in mind some of those hours will be when I was asleep and I forgot to turn the game off. But most of those hours are actually proper playtime. We're gonna just do a basic playthrough. I'm gonna walk you through the startup, but I do apologize. I have played this game a lot, so if I do things slightly too quickly for you to understand, I hope you will forgive me. I will try to do my best to explain everything as we go through things. So, Rimworld is a colony survival simulator type deal. Some would say it's a disaster simulator. I would understand what they meant, but I don't necessarily agree. It is, by all standards, it's just a colony simulator. The fact that disasters happen and that's how the story unfolds doesn't necessarily dictate the game, at least not in my opinion. Right, so we have 3 different scenarios to pick from the base game, and you can get different ones from the workshop. We're not going to be doing any of this. I do have mods installed, and I have posted a link in the description to a print screen listing all the mods that I have enabled for this playthrough. The 3 of you awake in your cryosleep sarcophagi to the sound of sirens and ripping metal. You barely get to the escape pods before the ship is torn apart. Sometime later you land on this unknown Rimworld. Your faction will be a new arrivals faction, which means we're not tribals, we're not bandits, nothing like that. We start with 3 people, we get to choose from 8. I haven't played Rimworld in a great while, at least not with mods like Prepare Carefully, where you can handpick your survivors. So this is a little bit new, I think, that you can choose from 8 people as opposed to just randomly reroll people over and over and over. I'm going to start with a number of silver, that's just currency, package survival meal, food, medicine, components. You need components for machinery, as I'm sure I will get to as soon as we enter the game. Bolt action rifle, we need some weapons, same as a revolver, plasteel knife, still weaponry. We're going to get a random pet, and I'm hoping for a dog. Cats are fine, but cats don't do very much in the colony, and dogs you can actually train them to take some of the workload of. Gonna get some steel and wood to start off with, and the map is scattered with a bunch of junk. 3 storytellers, Cassandra Classic, Phoebe Chillax, and Randy Random. A lot of people want to see Randy Random, and I notice people playing Rimworld, and the comment boxes always suggest do Randy Random. However, I think Randy Random is more fun to watch than it is to play. So we're not going to be doing this, even though, well, he could make for a great story, but he could also make for a really short-lived series as well. Phoebe Chillax is one I prefer. It doesn't necessarily make the game easier in the way of the difficulty, of the severity of the events that happen. It just makes it so that they happen a little bit farther apart, so you have a little bit of respite after disasters happen. We're probably going to play her, but I'm going to just go through it in my mind as we go on. Cassandra Classic, she just has a steady curve, like it says here. As you play the game more, the more hours you get into it, the more progress you make, the more she'll ramp up and the more difficult the events become. It's also a thing that Cassandra Classic and Phoebe Chillax both take into account, that if you've just had a bad event and everything's really, really gone bad, there's only a slight chance that things get worse. There is still a chance for it, and it's going to be hard to recover from that if it happens. But we're just going to do... I just think we're going to do Phoebe Chillax, and we're going to do it on rough. You have peaceful, which means nothing happens. It just literally becomes a city builder, more or less. You have base builder. Some things do happen, but not an awful lot. It's like make a colony builder and have random things happen to, you know, keep you interested in the game. Some challenge. It's a little bit heavier. Things will happen more often if I'm not mistaken, but I'm not 100% on that. Rough. It's actually, I think the classic game mode that the game first released with, that this was like the recommended experience. And I do tend to agree because it does just make it difficult. It makes you feel like you actually just crash landed onto a planet and you gotta survive and things are happening. Intense Extreme is not something I'm gonna be covering, at least not in this playthrough and probably never, just because I think that the punishment this game delivers is good in the doses on rough and lower, because I think if you get event after event and bad apocalypse scenarios one after another, you're just gonna get really bored of, like, you know, you're just gonna get exhausted from the game, which is not really what we're looking for. I am gonna not enable permadeath, but rest assured, I will let you guys know if I do any safe scumming. I don't intend to, but for sometimes this game does bring a little bit of annoyances with it that might fuck you over without good reason. So we're not gonna turn this on. We're gonna go Phoebe and we're gonna go Rough. Seed, well, what other seed than Ladida? YouTube. Global coverage. We're not gonna generate a full planet. That's really not necessary. Overall rainfall and temperature. You know what? We're gonna make the rainfall a little bit higher. We're gonna temperature a bit lower. See if we can get some more snowy areas going. I do like it that we're not gonna play in an area that has a growth period all year round, because I think that just makes the game way easier than it's meant to be. I do like that there's at least a winter period. So we're going to be looking for somewhere between 30 and 50 days of growth season as opposed to year round. Alright, let's see what we got going on here. I'll look for a bit of a mountainous area, so we're going to look over here. It's large hills. Mountains is not what we want. We want large hills. Creek is not necessarily recommendable because I still think they have no use in the game whatsoever, which makes them a little bit annoying to use. Or to have, rather. Alright, so let's see what we got here. 30 to 60 days. Oh, it's actually variable now. That's a good thing. That really does help out. Average temperature. So fine. This doesn't really mean anything much to me. Only the growth period and the stone type really means something to me. Elevation. Meh. Alright, granite, marble, and limestone. That's a pretty good setup. I like granite and I like marble. Marble I tend to make things look pretty with. Limestone is like a meh solution to granite, what granite does. Granite is just a stronger stone. We can do more with that. Alright, we get to pick 8. We're not going to prepare carefully because I don't want to scum the game. It does seem like we can still randomize, and I don't know if that is actually intended, but we're going to look what we got here. And I'm going to actually quickly pull up a name generator. Name generator. Fantasy name generator. I don't really care. We're gonna go for real names, and we're gonna look for not Dutch names. That'd be too easy. Let's just Native American names. Let's just, well, actually, Native American might not be the best idea either. Looking at things, we just have. Let's see, contact. No, fantasy names. You know what? We're all gonna be bounty hunter names. That sounds like a good thing. Right. So, let's see what we want. In the team skills in the bottom, you can see whatever you got in these 3 top ones. If I'm remembering correctly, the highest that you got, like, across the 3 colonists. So, there's one colonist that has 7 melee and is highly passionate for it. It's this guy. Same guy is also the shooting guy. I do appreciate this one. This one looks kind of alright. Actually something that I would like to have on my team. So we're gonna actually immediately lock this guy in. He's called Krand Zaxxon. Well, he's got a better nickname than that. He's gonna be Gargoyle. Right, what else do we want? So we've got shooting, melee, and animals sorted out. We need to get something on cooking, growing, and construction, preferably. So this guy is not going to help us. Nah, we don't need him, but he does have growing, but he does have a lot of health problems associated with him, which we do not want. Cooking guy, but nothing else. Not really. Medicine and mining and intellectual. Now this guy, we need this guy. Can we just, there we go. Fort, and you are Rika Fort, and you're going to be called Law. Rika Law 4. Right. So, we got a lot of things sorted now. We really just need construction and cooking. Probably in the same person. So this guy can cook, but he can't construct for his life. See something else that we can find. We're gonna randomize these. Alright. So we're gonna look for cooking and construction. 4 and 9. Cooking is not great, but his growing is pretty good. He does have a melee idea. So We probably want a guy that's also a little bit handy with a gun. I forgot which guy it was. Was it this guy? Yeah, it was this guy. Right, so he's not really great shot either, I suppose, but he is good with melee. And he's got construction growing. He's also a crafter. He's okay at mining, which we're also not too sore for, I suppose. Yeah, let's get you Samuel. You're gonna be called Falcon. Samuel Falcon Blantz. What a name. Just gonna start right away. I'm gonna pause the game and I'm gonna run through some of the steps. I'm gonna just talk you through what I would do on the first day of Rimworld. The three of you awake in your cryo-sleep sarcophagi to the sound of sirens and ripping metal. You barely get to the escape pods before the ship is torn apart. Sometime later, you land on this unknown Rimworld. As pieces of shredded starship fall around you, you start making your plans to survive. Alright, so let's see what we're gonna do here. First of all, I think I'm gonna turn the music a little bit down. There we go. Alright, let's see what we got around us. We're in a large hill area, so this area looks really nice. Let's see. If you look at the bottom left here, you can see whatever I'm mousing over, and we're gonna look for a spot with high fertile ground so we can have a good farm going. I would say this area looks pretty nice as well with the choke here on the right hand side, but the problem is that we have a hard time looking off the bottom side with all this mud and marsh area down here, so that doesn't really look that favorable to me, at least. There's no other real area that I think that looks really good, so we're gonna settle over here and we're gonna hope that they never attack us from up here. Preferably we want them to come from the left or to come from this little choke over here. Let's see, if we are smart about things, we start building over here. So, let's first create some zones. Let's create a stockpile zone right here. 10 by 10. Select it, storage. We're going to allow everything to be stored here. We're going to make it critical because at the start we just want to start moving everything. And everyone is going to hold, even if you hate it. I do not care for your hatred for the... Ooh, no one likes wardening. That's not that great, actually. It's something I didn't really look at. But, not to worry. It's not a big deal. Right, let's see what dog we got. Oh, well, I mean, we did get a dog, if you can call it that. It's a Yorkshire Terrier. So we're going to have a little bit of trouble teaching this guy anything because he's just not strong enough. We can release him, but we don't have enough to teach him how to haul. Well, oh well. So, in the top right, you'll notice that I have a little HUD showing their moods. These lines over on the black on the bottom are their breaking points. After the first one, if the blue bar dips below it, they start having a chance to have a mental breakdown, which, as you might think, is a bad thing. There's a lot of other menus here, and I'm sure I'll be using those over the playthrough. Don't know what they'll do. It's been a while since I played this game. We're gonna first of all allow everything, because everything starts forbidden, because everything that drops in something that is not your home area immediately becomes forbidden to touch. And that's to avoid your colonists getting tasks like if animals fight each other and one of them dies, it avoids your colonists having to run over the map because, oh, they know that somewhere was a fight and they need that corpse. It's not something that we want. Right, let's quickly put up our work here and let's see who is our best hunter. It is Gargoyle. So Gargoyle, you're gonna get the big rifle. And then we're gonna look in here. What does Law have? Law has 3. And this guy has 2. So Law, congratulations. You're gonna get a revolver. Please don't shoot anyone with it. That would be a slight disaster. Right, now that we've got everything set up here, everything is for unforbidden. They're gonna start hauling everything to this area. What we're going to do is we are going to structure. Ooh, this looks neat. I do like that. These doors are part of the mod, if I'm not mistaken. One of the mods I added into this is literally just to do with more doors. And I do like the look of them already. Right, so let's see what we're going to do here. If it's 10 by 10, I'm going to see here. That area right there. which means we can mirror that over here. And then we can start making a roof area over here. Very nice indeed. And at the same time, we also want to build a little bit of a floor. Just so, you know, we're not having any trouble with things deteriorating because of the rain. We want a little bit roof. Later on, we can completely cover this in so that the things don't deteriorate from outside. This is also a new option. I don't know if this is from a new mod. Turn loose stone terrain from a quarry into a usable soil terrain. Oh, I see. That's from the quarry mod then. That's a new feature they added. That's neat. Okay. Anyway, we got things set up. We'll have them set up to immediately start hauling everything over here. Let's start making a basic bedroom. For the start, what we could do is we could put them all in the same building, but this is gonna drive them upset because they don't like being in the same building, sleeping with as in the prison bunk or something along those lines. And you know what? I can relate to that. Let's actually start making something along this line. Let's get them a little bit bigger of a room. Something like this. So they have a 4x4 room. And it's already off center, and I'm sure it's going to drive some people crazy, but you know what? To those people we say, what are you even watching this video for? Why would you watch a video that you know is going to drive you upset? Alright, we're going to add some doors. No, not big doors. I'm going to make it like this, and then we can actually make it wider. We can expand in both ways, and we're going to add some stuff to these rooms. So first off, we want a bed. Put a bed in both sides. We can put a dresser and other stuff in there, but for now, I think this is just fine. The only time they're going to be in there is when they're sleeping, so it's not really a problem that much. Let's just copy it over the other side, 2 away. Yes. Alright. Add another 2 doors. Furniture. Let's add a bed. Let's just mirror it because it looks nicer that way. We are also gonna wood floor this whole area. We're gonna wood floor the entrance as well. And this can become a corridor later on, but for now we're just gonna keep it open. Just, you know, have their bedrooms immediately exit into the wide open world. Looks very nice to me. Second off, what we're gonna need to do is making things along like the kitchen. Plan ahead. We want a kitchen at some point. We want to start farms. That's actually a second thing. As soon as this is built, we're going to start immediately raking them over the coals to make us some farms. With that being said, I am going to actually reserve a stockpile specifically for stone chunks, because I have had a lot of games where complete storage areas just ended up getting taken over by stone chunks, as you can see right here. We need these to make bricks, but they don't deteriorate in the rain. They don't deteriorate from being outside, so there's no real reason to keep them indoors. So let's just take them out. Stone chunks, steel slag chunks. Let's put them all in the same spot, shall we? Gonna get some other stuff. Look at this. I have no idea what all this means. It's good getting into this game, but it is gonna take a little bit of getting used to. So there's quarries. If you notice, if you look at the wall here, these look slightly different. There's compacted steel and there's limestone. There's different things in the wall. There's some silver over here that I can see. There's some jade over there. Some compact machinery. Let's see if we can find some plasteel actually, because that'll be useful information to have if we got any plasteel in plain sight. Because that's something we'll need later on, as well as gold. Gold is going to be very useful as well. It doesn't look like it, unless I'm missing it. It doesn't look like we got any gold or plasteel at our disposal from the get-go, which means we'll have to do some digging properly. Or get lucky with the quarry, I suppose. Oh no, hold on, there's gold. So we do have gold then, that's good. Then we just need to find some plasteel later on. This is looking like a glorious start already. Alright, let's start letting them go to work. I'm not going to speed things up. I don't like the idea of that for a playthrough. I think it's actually quite nice because I could just talk to you guys like this. It's actually kind of interesting. I can talk about stories, whatever's going on in the game, whatever I'm planning to do, what I'm thinking about. Maybe I shouldn't tell you what I'm thinking about. That might get me removed from YouTube altogether. Alright. So these guys are going to work on that. In the meantime, we're going to start setting some zones. So, like I said before, we were looking for fertile soil, or rich soil in this case. It means the bulk speed is going to be a little bit slower on top of it, but the fertilization, or fertility rather, is a lot better in those areas. So, an old formula I learned from ages ago, from when this game was a lot younger. I think it was make 3 7x7 zones to start off. 2 dedicating to food, 1 dedicating to medicine. Just so you can start early on getting a food stockpile and getting some other things going on. So, that's exactly what we're going to do. And if I happen to run short of some things, well, we've got a lot of fertile soil to cover, so we will not run out anytime soon. I'm going to pause it. Actually, I'm not going to pause it. Fuck that. I'm actually going to say, you're going to be heel root. You can be rice. And what do we want along with rice, guys? Do you want potatoes or corn? Definitely corn. No doubt in my mind. I'd much rather have some corn. Now, looking at this, well, we're using up some steel, and this is going to be used... wood's going to be used here a lot. And we're going to build a lot of buildings out of wood at the start of this game. So, what I'm going to do is, I'm also going to say, chop some wood for me. And might as well do it in the vicinity because we're probably going to be expanding there anyway. At the same time, I'm also going to set a harvest order, so that if you don't like cutting wood, maybe you like harvesting and you can get us some food instead. That sounds like a great idea to me, guys. It's already kicking off. I don't know why you are throwing up. Why are you throwing up? Because you have cryosleep sickness. You know what? That's fair enough. I can understand that if you've been in cryosleep and then you suddenly tumble down onto a planet and, you know, in a crash site, you'll be a little bit shaken. So let's take this time to explore the map a little bit more in detail. So, animals are a big part of this game, whether we want to hunt them or whether we want to train them. We're going to have to interact with them in some way or another, because a vegetable diet is not necessarily a bad thing, but foods do require different ingredients if you want to start making higher quality food. So, these buck and does, there's a couple of wild boars, there's some ship chunks that we're going to disassemble later on. We can actually start a rabbit farm as well. Now this is an animal that's little known fact. This is a real animal. They're found in the wilderness of Africa. They are called the mystical, magical aboom rat. As the name suggests, when this animal dies, it explodes. They are really annoying to deal with, guys. Don't mess with these things. They're not the greatest. Let's see what else we got over here. Looks like we've got some turkey, we've got a squirrel and a turtle and a rat. Looks pretty good so far. What's this? An ibex or ibex doe? I'm sure you'll correct me. Is there anything else of significance that we can find? It's a nice pond over here as well. I actually once had a colony. When I was playing this game for, I think, 3rd time around, I had actually a really successful colony. The first 2 playthroughs that I did of this on my own, god awful. My god, guys, it was the worst. I didn't understand what I was doing. The 3rd time around, I made some magic happen. I had like a story going on with a scientist of mine. Like, as you saw, we had an intellect stat. The way we get new stuff in this world is research. We'll need a research bench for this, but look at all this, guys. Look at all this stuff we're gonna have to research. My god. Anyway, I had a couple of stories where my intellectual guy who was doing all the research was also a combat guy. So we had a raid once, and let's assume the distance here that my scientist would be over in this corner where my mouse is right now. A guy from here shot him with, I don't know what kind of rifle it was. It might have just been a hunting rifle, but it shot his left leg clean off. In the meantime, another guy was running up with a sword, slapping him and stuff, and another guy with a shotgun, and the shotgun guy shot his other leg clean off. So now, my dear intellectual friend had no more legs. At the same time, a lot of stuff happened to him. He recovered from this, but obviously, he started moving around really slow, which was making it really annoying to actually deal with having him around. And over a number of different raids, he kept losing more body parts and more body parts. At some point, he actually even lost his jaw. I think by the end of it, the only thing he had left working was one eye. He had obviously his nose and his ears working. Those were all fine. He had one arm, but he had a permanent wound on his other arm, like as in a a scar. He might have been Harry Potter, who knows. And basically, whenever what would happen is, he would literally be locked up in his room for days, just doing research. And all he would come out to do was, because that's all he could do, because he had no luck with doing anything else, he would crawl himself over to the kitchen fridge, go inside, eat some raw meat, because that was the point where I wasn't really making proper food yet. I was just messing about. So he would lie down on the floor, eat this meat, and then fall asleep in the freezer, only to wake up, be really grumpy, and go back into his room to research more stuff for me. It was so great. The cycle was just complete. That would happen every time. It was an amazing story. And that guy is actually, that's going to be in my memory from playing this game probably forever. Whenever I play this game, I think back of it, because it was such an amazing experience. Because he was, like, by all intents and purposes, he was handicapped. He couldn't do anything anymore. But yet he was still determined to do the research and fight off combatants. Although with his one arm scar injury that resulted in some permanent damage in his other arm and lying on the floor, he had a little bit of accuracy troubles after that, to say the least. It's not the greatest time of my life. Right, we are getting along the first day pretty well. It's almost 4 PM, it looks like. One problem I'm seeing is that they're probably not going to be able to finish all of the beds. So I'm going to see who is the construction. Falcon is the constructor. So I'm going to say that you got to prioritize the wooden bed. Regardless of whatever else happens, we need these beds to be done before night. Also, this is something I missed. Gargoyle and Law have come together and are now lovers. Oh, what a great scene. You know what? Just for that, I'm going to cancel this one bed. And we're going to make a double bed instead for these two lover birds. Lover birds. It's new, little known word. Lover birds. I do love this game. And the music as well. The music really helps. It really brings you into the mood to just get along and do stuff. Now, all of them are just hauling, so nothing much is happening as of yet. They have yet to haul a lot of things. My god, these guys are not the quickest. How are they getting along with the cryosleep sickness? Oh, this guy doesn't even have it. Whole body assigned to hauling. Ah, that's right. This guy doesn't like hauling at all. So instead, what we're going to have Law do, we're not going to have a haul anymore. You can do some other stuff. You can doctor, bed rest. Well, everyone's going to be able to flick, so let's do that. You're going to be the cook. Everyone's going to be a cook at the start, because honestly, at the start, we can't afford to be picky. Now, you can't plant cut and you can't grow, which is a little bit annoying, honestly. It seems to be a little bit useless, if I'm honest. But I don't know what you're going to be doing otherwise. I don't have anything that requires research yet, because we don't have a research bench yet. So I think, you know what, for the moment, I can't have you not do it. I can't have you not be assigned to do that. No, can you just work on the bed? Can you work on the bed, though? As opposed to, no? Maybe? Hello? Mom? Dad? Fuck? No? Gonna want to sleep in the open then? Yeah? That's fine. I can live with it. If you can live with it, I can live with it. As we can see here, this tab is literally what it says. Current job. Minecart is hauling. This means that they're trying to build. There's a number of different icons that you'll surely notice over the course of this playthrough. Right. So far I am liking this. It's looking like a great spot, and we got some good stuff going for us. The only big problem is the upside. We're probably going to have to lock this off at some point in some way or another. It's worth thinking about now, because you want to start planning your base out basically as soon as you get started. Because I love this right here. This can be like an easy prison or something of those types of descriptions, or like a trading hall. This is going to be have to cut off, and we're going to have to make like a corridor so that we can have a good flow in of enemies. That makes it easier to kill them off, have less trouble with them. This little river is going to be a little bit annoying because there's mud pretty far in as well, so we're going to have to make like a jagged wall. And we can have like a corridor here as well to do the same thing as we do on the opposite side. And probably the same on the top right side. I kind of want to get as much of this fertile soil as possible, just so we have more potential growth. Another thing that I'm going to be trying this, and I haven't really done this that much, I am going to try to start an animal farm properly. Like I'm going to, instead of just hunting animals for their meat, I'm going to see if I can actually capture some of them, like by taming them, and then pretty much get more of them. See if we can get a little economy going by making a lot of animals. And I do like the idea of having a turkey farm. Pardon me. Thanksgiving is still a while away if you're American, and it's never going to reach you if you're European. But, you know what? I think we can make this an American-friendly playthrough. You know what? This colony is going to be called the Ladida Thanksgiving Colony Supreme. Oh, never mind. Ladida Thanksgiving Colony Sup. It's good enough for me. And with that being said, guys, we're 30 minutes into the video. It's been great talking to you guys. I'm enjoying playing this game. I'm going to record a whole bunch more today, so be sure to look out on the channel if you want to see more of this. Like, subscribe if you like this video. Leave a comment if you want to. It's all for repetition, because who's watching these videos anyway, guys? Am I right? Until next time, guys. See ya!